Hello, how's it going?
Great, how are you?
Good.
Good, I'm Miss Naylor and I teach AP European History.
So, what is the typical format of a class?
The typical format of the class, it's a much more detail-oriented class than something like AP World, and so there is more lecture and more looking at historical documents in a typical class. We also, within a class period, we're doing a lot of discussing because it's, when you're dealing with historical documents, you want to make sure that you have a clear understanding and whatnot. So it tends to be more like micro focused, I would say, either with documents or lecture.
Nice. And how much homework is there in a typical week?
Typically, what we do for AP Euro would be similar to another AP class, I think, in that you definitely would have homework outside of class. It's formatted by the week, so there's rarely something due like the next day that you would just find out about that day. But I would say I assign ed puzzles each week that it would take you about 1 hour to 2 hours to do, probably, depending on how much you're taking notes.
Cool. So what is the format for academic achievement assessments?
Yeah, academic achievement assessments model the AP tests, so there's different portions of them. So there's multiple choice, which are all stimulus based, or almost all stimulus based, which means you have something that you like look at and interpret. And then there are the document based questions, which are like longer essays, but you get a bunch of documents to look at and you kind of have to answer a question. You have to answer a question about those documents. You have to do certain things. There's also short answer questions, which are generally about the length of a paragraph, where you have to do 3 different tasks. So that's a writing part 2. And then the last writing component is called a long essay question. So there's some writing there as well. And in AP Euro, I do try to include some projects that are creative, like we do like a postcard project where you create a postcard, and like a bedtime story project. So there are some projects thrown in there too.
Nice. And finally, what type of student would be successful in this class?
I think the type of student who would be successful in AP Euro is a student who loves history. Like those students where when you go to a history class, you're excited to be there because you are learning some history, and it's detailed. Like it's not like a world history class where it's more generalized. It's much more, there are a lot of Henrys to know. There are a lot of Jameses to know, for example, and like you kind of need to know those things. And some people love learning that stuff and some people don't. So I think you kind of have to search your own soul and decide, do I love history? And if you do, then you would probably like AP European History.
Cool.
And if you don't, you can take a different elective that's more focused on, other aspects of social studies.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for your time. This was a great interview.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.